Willow! The first two episodes just dropped on Disney Plus, and yesterday I did review the movie that this is obviously a continuation of. I think this is a weird property to bring to Disney Plus because, yes, there is a fan base. Yes, it is popular. But I don't know how popular it's going to be because Willow is more of an obscure thing. Um, and in watching this show or these first two pilots as a fan of Willow, I enjoyed these episodes. I don't know how many people are going to choose this over things like Rings of Power or Game of Thrones or House of Dragon or a myriad of other fantasy shows on streaming. However, that does not mean I didn't like these episodes and they're not good. They are actually quite good. Um, I mean, because most of these episodes, the first one's just again our group together because we have the prince who's kidnapped and the queen from the original movie. That's her son, and so you have her send a myriad of people on a quest to go find him and get him back and save the world, which is good. And then by the end of that episode, we get the spoilers, I guess, reintroduction of Warwick Davis's character Willow, which obviously is just such a treat. That character and that performance are just so good, and you love seeing them. And every time he opens his mouth and says anything, you're absolutely in love with this show. But for the most part, this show is beautifully shot. It has beautiful cinematography and special effects, both practical and non-practical, which is awesome to see. Um, but I think that it does feel like a little generic fantasy. The only thing that keeps it above from that level is the characters. The characters, while they're not particularly great, their actors give so much to the characters that you grow to like the characters because you grow to like the actors who play them. They do such a great job. They're all a lot of fun. They're all incredibly witty. Uh, in a lot of instances, the only character I couldn't really get behind is Mad Mardigan's daughter. I think she was a little too similar to other Disney princess shit like Brave and stuff, and it felt very irritating in the first episode. But I could see that character changing and growing to be a little bit more likable. Um, my biggest issue with this show, though, it really starts at the end of season two. They start playing classic rock songs at the end of the credits after a big reveal, and you're just like, what the fuck? This is a fantasy show that's playing like modern pop music. Well, not modern. That's a weird thing about it too. Is like you could see how like that was probably a Disney executive thing. They're like, let's modernize Willow and do this, but they're not modernizing it because they're not playing new music. They're playing music that your dad grew up with. Like my dad knows that song, and to be fair, I listen to a lot of that stuff too. But you get what I'm saying. It's like it's not current music. It's like 80s, 70s, 60s, kind of stuff. It's weird to have that in the show, and it's weird because it's also in the credits too. It's not really like in the actual context of the show, so that makes it even weirder. It's just I don't know what they were going for with that, and it does ruin the feel of this pretty classic style fantasy. Otherwise without that music, this show would be pretty easy to get sucked into the adventure and stuff if you like these kind of fantasies. But it's just really weird. I don't know, but I did really like these first two episodes, even though the first one's a little bit slow, as most pilots are, and the second episode picks up a little bit after we get the reveal at the end of the first episode, which I really enjoy. But it does feel like I don't know. I'm excited to see the rest of it, but I didn't think it was great, and that's kind of unfortunate because I don't know. I wanted it to be great, but I think at the end of the day, that's okay. That's not great because neither was the first Willow movie. If you saw my review for that, it's just a fun adventure movie, fantasy adventure movie that I enjoyed. Like it wasn't a great movie to begin with, and so these So this not being great and just being a fun fantasy is kind of really all it needed to be. So it's really not that disappointing, but at the same time, you always want a little bit better from your entertainment, I guess.